and that road is blocked as well. Like, I'm stressed out. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna have any time left to buy some food, grab my bike and carry it on my shoulder to run down some stairs from a bridge because What's up, guys and ladies? Today is just kind of an update on the situation here in Saigon, Vietnam, the lockdown situation, if I could say. I think it was on July 9th or 10th, the government decided to apply the Directive 16, Social Distancing Directive 16, here in Saigon specifically because the number of cases, of new cases, was going through the roof. So they decided to, tighten things up and trying to get things under control. Originally it was supposed to be for 15 days, but if the situation was not to improve, it was most likely going to be extended, and it has been the case. So Directive 16, basically there are different levels or types of social distancing measures or lockdown restrictions, if I could say. The 16 one, basically, it says that you are only allowed to get out of your house for essential needs, like, buying food, taking care of health or medical situations, and going to work if your situation allows it. I think also it is forbidden to have a gathering of more than 2 people outside. All the non-essential businesses and establishments are closed, like bars, coffee shops, clubs, gyms, churches, temples, karaoke's, etc. Also, public transportation has been shut down, obviously, since most people are not allowed to commute or go around or whatever. It makes no sense to keep having, buses running around. Plus, public transportation is not so great for social distancing. We have to keep a distance of 2 meters from anyone around. Before they raised it to Type 16 or Directive 16 or whatever you want to call it, restaurants and coffee shops were still allowed to run their business as long as it was only for delivery and takeaway. But it's no longer the case. Restaurants and coffee shops are all closed. The only way to get food is to go to markets and stores and buy your food and cook at home. It's also banned for people to travel to or from infected areas. Saigon being a heavily infected area right now, it's impossible for me, for example, to leave Saigon and go to a less infected area, which totally makes sense. Now, they applied this for 15 days and then decided to extend it, and the situation just kept getting worse. So they decided to apply extra security measures. So now, since a few days ago, we have a curfew. So we're not allowed to leave our home after 6 p.m. And I think the curfew is until 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. in the morning. I'm not 100% sure, but from 6 p.m. and through the night, people are not allowed to be out and about. And just a couple of days ago, I received this little paper here, which is basically kind of a restricted list of stores that I'm allowed to go to. So I have 10 stores here that I'm allowed to go to, and I'm not allowed to go to other stores to buy my food or whatnot. So that's pretty intense. Out of this list of 10 stores, there's I think 3 medium small supermarkets, 2 convenience stores, and a few other specialized shops. I think there's a bakery, there's 2 butcher shops, and another one selling dry goods and food supplements. So the day after I received this little paper here, I decided to go through the list and check online, where those stores are located and what I have access to, because the stores I usually go to are not listed here. The big supermarket that I like to go to is not on that list. So I just wanted to see what my options were and where they were located and whatnot. And I realized, while kind of taking a closer look at the paper, that I was given time slots. So there are only 2 days out of the week where I'm allowed to go out and buy food. And for each of those days, it's like a time slot of 3 hours. And I realized that like the day I was looking at this paper, I was like, oh shit, it's today. so I have to go, like, I have to get ready and go today. I have 3 hours that I'm allowed to go buy my food. Otherwise, I have to wait for another 4 days before I can go buy food. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna start getting ready. But I had already placed an order to receive like big 18.5 liter water jugs because if I was gonna be, you know, limited in my ins and outs, then I don't want to go around buying like small like 4 or 6 liter bottles and walk all the way back home, especially that the closest convenience store I usually go to is not even on the list. So I have to walk further out for some reason, and then I would have to walk back with those bottles of water every couple of days. So I thought it didn't really make sense. So I had ordered some like 2 18.5 liter bottles, and the delivery guy was just like late. Like he was just like, and like every time I was like checking up and like trying to get an update about the situation, like, oh, you told me you'd be here about around 1 p.m. It's 1:30, you're not here. Then it's just like, oh, I'll be there in 15 minutes. So he ended up being like almost like an hour and a half late, which was in my slot. Like, so my shopping time was like shrinking every minute. And then I find out that he cannot come to my house. He cannot come to my building. And this is not something I was aware of because I haven't been out in a few days, but apparently like 2 of my neighbors have 0 cases, like infected people. So I think it's because of that, they created a perimeter around the whole block, actually more than a block. So the delivery guy was stuck at like kind of a main road, and he was not able to get any closer to my apartment. So I had to go out, walk up to the street where it was, to the gate that was shut, and like buy the two jugs, and then grab them and walk with those 2 18.5 liter jugs on my shoulders for about half a kilometer to get all the way to my house, and then climb upstairs to get to my apartment. It was a workout. It was a workout, and like time was ticking. Like I was running out of time to go do my shopping. So I finally put the jugs inside my apartment, then rushed outside, got on my bicycle, you know, with my backpack, ready to go shop and buy some food, because there was like less than an hour left at that point. And if I was not gonna be able to buy food, then I would have to wait another 4 days. So I rushed out, I got on my bike, and then I realized like the shortest way that I was about to take to go to the supermarket that I found on the list, that shortest way was blocked. Like that's where the delivery guy was trying to enter. So it's not possible for me to go outside either. So I had to go all the way around the block and then go from another road. And then I was going down the road and I was like really speeding up, trying to like, I'm thinking if at least I can get like 30 minutes like to check out the main supermarket and maybe like a butcher shop or another shop to just get some stuff quickly, then I should be all right. So I was going down the road that I know will take me to the shop, but it seemed like every little access or every little alleys or small roads that I'm usually taking were blocked, were locked. So at some point I even had to grab my bike and carry it on my shoulder to run down some stairs from a bridge, because the small alley that takes me to the road that goes under the bridge was locked. And then I get all the way to the road where the supermarket is, and that road is blocked as well. So I don't know, they transformed the street on which the supermarket and other shops are, they transformed it into a one-way or a dead end or something. So I had to go all the way back and all the way around and do like a crazy detour. And now time is running out. Like I'm stressed out. Like I don't know if I'm gonna have any time left to buy some food. So I finally get to the supermarket that I was trying to get to, and I have to show this paper to prove that I live in the area and that I am within my time slot to go shop at the supermarket. I'm super disappointed because it's much smaller than a bunch of other markets that I know in the area, but that's the one I have access to. So I have, I think, about 20 minutes left to buy some food. And let's say that the shopping experience was a bit underwhelming. The way the food is presented in that store and the selection is very limited. There are a bunch of things missing, a bunch of shelves are empty. The meat is just like openly placed on some shelves with no kind of air protection, with no wrapping, nothing. There's almost no fruit selection. Vegetable selection is very limited. Let's go see upstairs with the dry goods. Oh man. And even the dry goods are limited. Yo, all of the instant noodles are gone. Except this little section there. There's not much of anything important left. But there's like chocolate pancake mix. I think I should go to another store. Maybe a smaller shop on the list. We'll have more selection left. I don't know. Okay. I'm gonna take some ground pork, I guess. It's kind of weird. Scoop it like this. Can't really smell anything with my mask. Hopefully it's fresh. So anyways, I buy a few things that I think I will use or I will need, and then I'm kind of hurrying up thinking, well, I'll go to another store and maybe I can find some better things. They're gonna spray the street here. They all those hazmat suits. They're spraying buildings that were open during the time that people were around. Jeez. And then I go to one butcher shop that I recognize the name on the list, and I get there and this is what happened. Okay.
What are you looking for?
Meat. Okay. Huh? This one? Okay. So then I rushed to the other one across the street, and they're in the middle of closing the place. So I tried to get what I can quickly without, getting in the way. I understand that they have to follow the rules, and there are probably like sanctions or fines or whatever if they stay open longer than they're allowed to. So I'm trying to like hurry up and just get a few things. And then I decided to even go to the convenience store, hoping that maybe I'll find things that will be inspiring or things that I was not able to find at the supermarket and at the butcher shop. So yeah, that was quite a hectic shopping experience, but I got a few things and I already had some food at home, and I got a lot of water now, so I should be okay for a little while. Now, those extra restrictions or those extra security measures are only supposed to be applied for, I think, for a week, unless I guess the situation doesn't improve, and it doesn't seem to be improving much, so I wouldn't be surprised if they extend it for another week or another 2 weeks. So I guess I should get used to shopping at those few shops and just accept it as my new reality, just in case things don't change for another couple of weeks. And yeah, I guess that's it. It's a pretty intense experience, but hey, we had a good run here in Vietnam. We had like a year of freedom where I was able to travel around and do pretty much whatever I wanted, while most of the world was locked at home. So I feel like I'm still lucky, but yeah, now we're having a taste of this of this medicine. I don't know how long it's gonna last. Now, I know that this video kind of interrupts or breaks the timeline of the videos I was posting since the moment I got kicked out of my previous apartment and I started, traveling. So I went to Mune. I still have one more video about my time in Mune, and then next I went to Dalat. So I have a bunch of videos about Dalat, and then I went to Nha Trang. So we're gonna go back to this to this timeline But I guess once in a while, if things change like they are right now, I might interrupt that timeline and share with you what is happening right now, right this moment. So that's it. I hope you found this this little update interesting, and I'll catch you next